Okay, it is time for a stream. Let's have some fun. Let's do it. Do it together. No, let's go ahead and do that. Let me Control-Shift-B. Let me set this on up. Trying to get the we got a lot of fun planned here for you today, guys. We're going to be going over the Ogre roster, and then we're going to be going through a battle. Almost at a combat. A battle of ogres versus CATHAY at the minor settlement of Sky Monolith, not Bastion. Let me just kind of set this up here. So let's get into, I'm trying to get into, I've got the Ogre Kingdoms army book up right now, so we'll kind of be able to look at that alongside the actual. Let's actually do this. Do that, do this, and do that. Okay. All right, let's get going here. Let's have some fun. No, this is, so what we have right now is we have pre-recorded battles that were shared to us by Creative Assembly, so we'll be showing those off here today. First, we're going to go through the Ogre roster, and I've got to do this kind of jankety. I just have videos. I didn't really feel like editing all this stuff together or anything like that. I figured this is also kind of a more fun way to do it. We can pause, talk about things, so on and so forth. So what we're going to start off with, I have a 7-minute video of the entire Ogre roster. Well, I'm sorry, it's got pieces of it that are missing. So we'll be able to go through what we've got, what kind of special abilities, stuff like that. So we're going to go through that first. I'm going to just record that separately to what we're doing. So like a lot of like streamers and YouTubers and Twitchers and Twatters and all that do this stuff right now. It's like 90% or 80%. I think it's missing the Iron Blaster or some crap like that. I don't know. Someone mentioned it somewhere. So what we're going to do is go through what roster we have. Remember, there are elements of it that are missing. I'm going to be hitting record, so I'm not going to have my webcam on for that part. I'm going to shut off notifications, so if you do any donations, anything like that, I will catch them after I record. This just kind of helps me cut down on some overlap time of going through things multiple times. So let's go ahead but before we start, it's important to know, when you're playing Warhammer 3, whenever the hell it comes out in February, you should be hopped up on the bunny of Sneak Energy. This stream is brought to you by Sneak Energy. Please enjoy responsibly. Let's have some fun here. Let me press the right button, set this all up, display capture. There we go. So I'm going to be shutting off this webcam as we go through this here real quick. We're going to just jump through. Like I said, it's just the whole, it's not the whole roster. Like I said, I think Iron Blasters are missing, but we'll be able to go through Scrag. We'll be able to go through the Fire Bellies, Stonehorn. So just to give you an idea. See, you can even see Greasus is not on here. This is just the units that were used in this fight, and there was a limitation upon the units in the fight. So we're good to go. Thank you, Ilker. Thank you very much, man. Ow! This thing like snagged one of my beard hairs. No, it's just a Creative Assembly employee. People keep like saying it, man. Like, yeah, it's just a Creative Assembly employee. I promise. So let's go through this. Let me actually turn the sound of it up. It's up. It's up. It's up. It's up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this portion off and that off. Let's have some fun. Let's go through this right here. And I'm going to record this, so I'm going to put it on YouTube later. So for those of you guys that maybe come in later, or you just wanted to watch this, you'll be able to have it as a separate video. So time to pop into YouTube, boys. Okay, so we have the Ogre roster here. We're going to be going through it. Now, this is not 100% of the roster. There are certain portions of this that are missing. So we'll be able to go through what we've got. And then when we get a later Ogre Kingdoms roster reveal, we'll be able to see what units were 100% missing. We just were told, hey, this is not the complete Ogre roster. Just bear with what we've got. There's, of course, Greases is not in this, but we're going to be talking about the Firebelly. We'll be going into Scrag. So we'll be able to see a good chunk of it, but there'll be obviously some things that will be missing. So let's just kind of swing through what we've got here right now, and we'll talk about every little thing. We can pause it as we need be, but you can see I'm just using a Windows Media Player because this was sent to us by Creative Assembly. So the Gnoblars, the most disgusting of all creatures. Well, that's not true. Skaven are pretty hideous, but they get pretty basic stats here. Hide, and they're expendable, as you would imagine. Pretty low melee attack and melee defense here at 18. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's surprisingly high melee defense for what is supposed to be kind of a throwaway unit. They are spear infantry, but it looks like they don't get any bonus to anti-large there, so maybe they have a hidden passive bonus that I don't think they hover over this, so we can't really see if there is kind of anything underneath the hood there, but it is a spear infantry without the actual bonus versus large, so that's kind of interesting. Next up, we have the Gnoblar Trappers here. You can see they got the really cool little wolf head helmets there, and they've got some additional, not acupuncture, that's not the word I was looking for, some additional punching power in that they are also ranged hybrid units and they can stalk. So let's take a look at what they've got. A little missile strength at 17 with a range of 70. We'll bring that down a little bit. Vanguard deployment, stock as you would expect, expendable one more time, and then they get this Gnoblar Traps. Let's take a look at this bad boy. So this is a hex that they get. It is a passive ability that will reduce speed, and charge bonus of anything, what it looks like, in a range of 5 meters. Effect range 10 meters. So in 10 meters, affected units grounded, cannot use if not moving. Okay. So this is basically the Gnoblar Traps ability here, which also does damage per second from 13 to 25. So it's going to drastically slow things down. It is going to do some damage over time, and it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of can use this. If there's perhaps a Regiment of Renown unit version of the Gnoblar Trappers that can even pour on more and more damage. I'm very interested to see what goes on with that. Let me unpause and keep going. I want to see the speed of these guys real quick. Speed of 35. So obviously these things don't have massive wheels. They're not going to be outrunning any kind of cavalry, of course, but it is interesting. Now, I don't think that they're selected, so it's not an actual activatable. I believe it looks to be, just jump back there one more time, single use passive ability. So you're not going to be able to just spam this a whole ton. So very curious to see how that kind of comes into it. I'm stoked to see the Gnoblars though. I really like that we're getting a little bit of a shot of these guys in the roster. And although clearly we're seeing the we're seeing the Ogre Kingdoms as the pre-order bonus. When we see the Chaos Dwarfs, this gives me hope for possible hobgoblins in their roster and other things of the sort. I don't know why it gives me hope for it. I just really want to see hobgoblins. So we have the Ogre Bulls up next here. A big brutal 60 leadership on these big fat boys with a 28. Dude, look at that speed. 54 speed on this monstrous infantry unit with its Ogre charge capability. They've got a charge bonus of 44, a nice weapon strength of 90. Very low in that melee defense at 22, but a decent chunk of melee attack at 28. Nothing super jacked up, but still pretty nice one to see nonetheless. They cause fear, as you would expect. They are siege breakers. They hide in the forest. They get wall breaker, allows the unit to attack and destroy walls in melee. Remember, this is a new mechanic that was brought in with Total War Warhammer 3. So it allows the unit to break open walls, because remember, that's going to be more important this time around. And they get, let it expand. When attacking braced charge defenders, this unit only loses half of its charge bonus. So let's take a second here to talk about Ogre Charge. Now, the way that Ogre Charged worked in Warhammer Fantasy is that basically, whenever the unit charged into combat, it would do damage just based off of the presence of it running into combat. So it's cool to see remember, a monstrous infantry unit with 54 speed and what is that, 44? 44 charge bonus. That's pretty girthy. Now, What I am not as stoked about is this unit only loses half of its charge bonus. I'm going to assume that they at one point put something on here that allowed that to do a fully negates the charge bonus, right? I think I'd actually speculate that would be a pretty cool way to incorporate this, but maybe that was just too powerful at 44 charge bonus and 54 speed. Maybe you could cycle charge ogres and it just was too devastating. So I'm really curious to see how effective that half charge bonus is still with these guys. Remember, 54 speed is nothing to scoff at, though. It's going to be pretty girthy. Next up are our Gorgers, armor-piercing, anti-infantry, vanguard, and stock. These guys are going to be disgusting. A nice 100 weapon strength. There's 8 in the unit here versus the Ogre Bulls, which had 24. So you do have to kind of factor those things, take some consideration into that with about 7,300 or so health. Low armor, of course, but a good amount of melee attack at 54, a brutal 44 speed, 44 melee attack with 54 speed, and a nice amount of leadership at 100 there, right? But these guys are going to be mincing through the opponent when it comes to their nice, beautiful infantry. Siege attacker, we've got fear, we've got vanguard, as it keeps going. Then we've got stock, then we've got unbreakable, gorger. So this unit has a gorger ability for, this unit counts as a gorger for ability targeting. Obviously there's going to be some abilities that target exclusively gorgers and the such. Wall breaker, which we just talked about. And then of course the old family favorite, Frenzy, which is going to be quite nice here because it's going to give them immune to psych, even though they already have a pretty good 100 leadership. But it's going to give them a nice charge bonus of an additional 4, bringing that up to a 46% charge bonus with a melee attack up there too. So that's a pretty nice little ability here. I think that kicks in as soon as you press start battle. So I would assume too that their melee attack is at 52. I can't remember off the top of my head if it doesn't kick in until you press start battle, just like most effects, right? So I really do like the Gorgers. They're probably one of my favorite looking units in the roster so far. I just think they really brought them to life in a pretty badass way. Although the Firebelly is pretty sick too, as well as the Cav options, which we'll get into in just a little bit. Moving into the Man-Eaters, you know, we've seen these guys already, what we've seen so far in Total War Warhammer 2, but 40 armor on them, a good speed of 54, 40 melee attack, and 34 melee defense with 110 punishing weapon strength. Now, what's interesting here is these guys have 16 in their unit versus the Ogre Bulls, which had 24. So it looks obviously like it's not going to be a standardized monstrous infantry size. As you can see, take a look at the roster here, right? 24, 8, 16, 16, 16. This is 32, but it's a little bit different. So you can see that these ogres do have a little bit of variation in their unit size. It's not just simply like it's kind of been in the previous Total Wars, Total War Warhammers, where it's just been, hey, this unit is a monstrous thing. Boom, it's going to have that on it, and it's going to be this unit size. So there's a little bit of a deviation here, which is pretty nice. Moving into the Lead Belchers, we finally get basically what is considered the entry-level ranged unit for the Ogres when you kind of think of it from an 8th edition perspective. And these guys are going to do some great damage. 200 range. That's great. With a nice 94 AP damage coming out of them. I would like to see how much of that damage is explosive, but the big downside to these guys is they only have an ammunition of 10. So that's going to be, of course, very brutal when it comes to these, but I wonder if there will be some way to replenish ammunition or something of the sort, like when we get the Gunnery White with the Vampire Coast, how they can kind of mitigate that low ammunition by using those abilities. So we don't see anything like that yet. Maybe the Hunter has that ability. So I'm curious to see if that's coming. 30 armor, 55 leadership, speed of 42, so a little bit slower here, about 10 less speed, and of course melee attack and defense as would be lower. But their weapon strength is high still because they use these things and swing them in combat. That's kind of always been their shtick. They always have like kind of a nice staying power in melee, is because they just swing and smash those things. Now obviously everything's going to cause fear. It can hide in a forest, don't know how, but also it's a wall breaker and a siege attacker with its dreaded ogre charge. Moving on up to the man-eaters with Ogre pistols. Again, another unit we've seen already, but just to kind of quickly go over them. Everything we've seen before with the previous man-eaters. We're getting immune to psychology this time around. We're getting, not this time around, but with the man-eaters, we get immune to psychology. We get fire wills to moving, which is pretty cool here as well. But a 96 missile strength on these bad boys with AP damage coming out, as well as 110 weapon strength still. So even though they are not their great weapon counterparts, they're still doing quite a bit of melee damage here. 40 melee attack, 34 melee defense with a nice 54 speed as well. You've got that ogre charge in there at 50. So they're still doing quite a bit of damage here. So I really like the man-eaters. In the 8th edition, they have a special ability called Arm to the Teeth, where they have just a ton of weapons. So it's cool to see the two different variations so far. I would like to see maybe like a double, like a 2-sword weapon variation, something of the sort. Moving on to our next one, we have some saber tusk pack. Take a look at these bad boys. 95 speed on these, so they're quite quick. They are extremely fast for a monstrous war beast unit here. 32 in a pack as well, with some good, well, decent enough leadership at 48. Not that great. But 38 melee attack and 28 melee defense with a good charge bonus of 36 and 70 weapon strength. These things are very strong for basically a backline harassment unit. They cause fear as well, and they're going to be able to, well, I don't know if Forrest who really cares about that, but they do have Rampage, which is going to be, of course, their Achilles heel, or a Saber Tusk heel, or whatever the hell you call it when it's a Saber Tusk. Moving into the first of the big, nasty Cav units, we get the Mournfang Cav with Iron Fists. Now, Iron Fists act as a shield for the ogres. We already saw this in the Mournfang Cav that came in with Total War Warhammer 2, and we saw that they had an animation where they would block arrows with their left hand. So, boom, here it is. We get that Mournfang Cav with those Iron Fists, and they get 100 armor with a bronze shield, as well as 120 weapon strength, that's AP damage, a brutal 68 charge bonus, a little bit low on the melee attack at 36, but a good melee defense at 38 with 60 and 75 when it comes to leadership and speed. So this is going to be your shield variant. We've already seen the other variant of the Mournfang Cav in Warhammer 2. So just to kind of see, I wonder if there's going to be maybe a regiment of renown, if they have like glowing clubs. It's always kind of interesting to see how the regiments of renown are going to color and shape the roster. But take a look at this. Crushers on Rhinox, no less, right? And look at these bad boys. We get a great weapon Cav with 130 AP anti-large weapons, or 130 weapon strength, just crushing the show over here, right? 120 armor too. The Crushers are indeed crushers. Not huge charge bonus too at 80. They are 80. Man. With a good, well, decent enough speed at 75. I don't expect these guys to be breaking any land speed records here, right? But it is interesting to see that both the Mournfang Cav, which are Mournfang, the Crushers, which are Rhinox, and then we're going to look at a Giant in a second. We've got the actual Catapult, and then we've got the, it's not a Slaughterhorn. I keep messing up the name, so we'll just wait till we get to it. But we have not seen the Yeti, unfortunately. We have not seen some of the bigger, scarier, larger units in the Ogre roster. So it kind of makes me wonder if they're coming, because again, I know that this is not a complete roster, and it makes me wonder as well, if they are not coming, how will they come into the game? You could make the argument that they might come in with perhaps the there is a legendary hero that I can't think of off the top of my head, and it is not Scrag. Something the Huntsman, and I mean maybe with him, sure, but again, that character kind of has that trope of, oh, he could never lead anyone, he always likes to be alone, kind of like Shadowblade does in Dark Elves, right? He's always just alone. So I am curious to see what we get with more of the roster, like what other bigger units maybe are not in just yet, and what monsters are coming, like the Yeti and the Thunder Tusk I was talking about. And yeah, it was Brag the Gutsman, not the Huntsman. Brag the Gutsman. That's what I'm thinking of. But moving through the Crusher here. Again, I'm just kind of letting this play, and we've got a lot of what we typically had on pretty much everyone else so far. Which, you know, it's important to note that Siegebreaker and Wallbreaker on every single unit is going to be pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So 600 AP damage. I mean, weapon strength. It's a giant. We all know them. We've come to expect them. I like the big pot helm on the helmet here. It's a little bit different. And for those of you that are watching this after the fact, I am currently recording, or I'm currently streaming, and I've pressed record. So I'm talking to you guys as if I am just recording. But people in the chat of the stream have confirmed that both the Yeti and the Thunder Tusk are not coming later. Like there's no future roster reveal that's going to tell us that. So perhaps then that's a DLC, and like I was saying, maybe with Bragg the Gutsman, but it doesn't really make a whole ton of sense to do Bragg. He's thematically a legendary hero and someone who kind of stays alone. But the Gnoblar Scrap Launcher is looking brutal here. And what I like about it too is it still has 160 AP anti-infantry weapon strength alone. Like it's pretty spicy here. In addition to, we get 80 armor on it, 60 leadership. I mean, this thing's actually decently tanky here, right? Also, we can see a missile strength of 490 on it. It's got its wounds capability that was added with Warhammer 3 in any single entity, as well as 18 ammunition. So this thing is pretty spicy. I do love the look of this Gnoblar Scrap Launcher, but the real big boy here is the Stonehorn with a harpoon launcher on top, and it is, oh, where's my cursor? There we go. It's going to cause fear. It's going to cause terror. I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to miss the pause, and we're going to keep going because it's going to fire whilst moving. It's got wall breaker. It's got wounds, and then missile resistance of 15%. So 149 weapon strength, but look at that devastating melee combat of 480 anti-infantry AP with 66 speed and 110 armor. This thing is going to smash into stuff, and in the fight we're about to take a look at, it's going to go toe-to-toe with another big creature I can't wait to show you guys. But it is going to be a lot of fun with this bad boy on the... I wonder if, too, we'll probably get a normal Stonehorn, not with a harpoon launcher. I would imagine that's the case. And the other unit we have not seen here, I believe it's confirmed, is the iron launcher. The iron big thing. I can't remember off the top of my head. The big, huge cannon. The big, huge cannon. That just... I said it earlier in the video, and my brain is blanked out. But... I believe that that's been confirmed as coming. I don't, and someone in the chat can tell me this as I keep going, and we'll jump back to that point. But we're going to move forward here into the Fire Belly, and we can see he's got, of course, typical kind of spells, but he gets a special Fire Breath. This is going to Iron Blaster. Thank you guys. So a special Fire Breath that we're going to see on the Fire Belly is the range damage of 99, explosive damage of 46 on this, with a pretty brutal range of 90 meters and a 60-second cooldown too, but can only use if he's out of combat. So interestingly enough, so I think we're going to see some other fun abilities here. He gets Tenderizer, so he is going to augment around him or his own weapon strength by 50%, both his base and AP damage. On top of that, 430, and 430 is pretty standard fare for a caster that has some sort of punching power, right? We see the same, I think it's like 400 or 430 exactly when we look at Norska and the Famir and their punching ability. So nice 430 AP with magic and flaming attack. So pretty spicy there. Flame Incarnate, melee damage reflection of 10, and this is going to give him an actual bound ability with 2 uses on it, and it lasts for 24 seconds with a 1.5-minute cooldown, which is kind of spicy there. Oh, I just missed Eruption. Let's jump back just a little bit. And we get Eruption, an active explosion, which is going to do 25 magic and flaming damage, 0% AP in a 15-meter radius around the big Fire Belly. And that is looking pretty spicy. But we get the standard fare of the lore of fire here. Nothing special to kind of write home about. It's just the lore of fire. Even the lore attribute here, Actually, I didn't see the lore attribute, but Siege Attacker, Causes Fear, Encourage, Hide in the Forest, wait for it, Wall Breaker, it's coming, Ogre Charge, which is going to go nice with his already capable wound set. There you go, there's your passive ability. He gets Rag Banner, which I believe is just probably because it's a custom battle. So passive ability +4 leadership and 35-meter radius around him. Oopsies. Oh no, what did I do? There we go. And he gets some innate fire resistance. Make sure, yeah. And missile resistance because he's a single entity. But that is your Fire Belly here. And he's got a great looking model. I love that model right there. So remember, this is a custom battle, so I'm sure there'll be some sort of different variation on a lot of this stuff as you can build them out in campaign. But now it is time to talk about Scrag the Slaughterer, the master of the Great Maw. We can actually go through the lore of the Great Maw here as well. We have all of his abilities activated, but he gets extra ingredient, which is going to give him a power recharge and reserve bonus. And it's going to last for 31 seconds, which is quite nice. And you can also see that he does quite a bit of AP anti-infantry damage there, 430, just like you would have imagined when it comes to a total, what's it called? A hybrid caster melee unit. Brain Gobbler, Lore of the Great Maw. Our first Lore of the Great Maw ability here. It's got a range of 200 meters, duration 18 seconds, cooldown 28 seconds, and reduces leadership by 16. Next up is Bull Gorger. It's going to increase melee attack by 24 and AP damage by 25% for 17 seconds. We unfortunately don't know what those overcast abilities are, but we get Bone Crusher here. It's going to be a pretty, it's almost like a Foot of Gork is what it kind of looks like here. Damage is 64 with 50% of that being AP, and does magic damage in an 8-meter radius around. It's got a range of 200 meters with a 43-second cooldown, a very small striking area. Tooth Cracker, boom, armor of 30, missile resistance plus 22%. So this is a nice little way to mitigate any kind of specific range damage that is looking to focus down or break apart a lot of your unit, because the nice thing is it's an augment in an area versus being a single target augment, which is quite nice. Moving into the Maw, which is going to be another one of our damage abilities. This one with a much larger area of explosion, right? We get 20-meter radius on them with 48 damage, 33% of it, a third of it being AP damage with some magic damage in there as well. Troll Guts, which is a regen ability, which is going to replenish health at a health of 0.8, or about 1% pretty much. Health per second for 40 seconds. So a little less than 40% health will be recovered through the course of this, well, 20% less than 40. So what? It'll do 32% health recovery. So very nice for the lore of Great Maw there. I do like it because it does have capabilities to do some damage. It's got some support capabilities as well as buffing and debuffing capabilities. So I do like it quite a bit so far. Let's take a look at its actual lore attribute though, right here coming up. And Blood Gruel, so triggers when casting a spell and replenishes hit points of combatants for 9 seconds at a 0.4% per second. That is pretty nice every time that happens. All right, Cauldron of the Great Maw is his obviously amazing ability here, and it gives him a little bit of regen in an area, but it also gives a bonus base weapon damage plus 0% up to 20% and AP up to 20%. Effect intensity increases with each kill made by the unit. Replenishes hit points of combatants as well. So it's going to give a pretty brutal little bonus here to health, as well as boosting up attack quite well in an area around Big Daddy Scrag, which is very reminiscent to his capabilities in the 8th edition army book. So pretty nice. Massive health pool though at 7,200 here for Scrag, so pretty crazy. So that is the entire Ogre roster that we have access to right now. We also have these 3 abilities. Now, I don't know how these abilities come to factor into the actual battle map, but I'm just going to go through them really quick with you guys. We've got only if they are Gorgers. Let me take a look. Does it say that on here though? Oh, affected unit only is Gorgers. Good call there. For those of you guys who mentioned it in the chat, and you're watching it after the fact and you saw that and you're like, man, you missed it. Yeah, I did miss it. So Gorgers are getting the benefit of the heal and the weapon damage and AP there from the Cauldron of the Great Maw. So going back here to our abilities, we get the Dismember Hex, which is going to reduce acceleration speed and charge speed quite toasty there. Then we get Massacre, which is going to increase, Massacre here, which is going to increase AP and weapon damage as well as cause terror. And then lastly, we get Butcher. So Butcher is going to be a heal per second and then vigor per second reduced by 25%. And you can see how this is all gained is from prisoners. Prisoners points are gathered by killing enemy units that are routing or shattered. So there you go. You can clearly see that I have not watched this video ahead of time. I just decided to go through it with you guys together. So as it's every, so points needed for the next ability is 25. So I'd imagine that would go up in some sort of increasing increment. But that is our Ogre roster here today. For those of you that are watching after the fact and not during the live stream, please go ahead and let me know in the comment section below how you're feeling about this roster. What things are missing that we know will not be coming that maybe you're disappointed about. What things that we don't know are missing are you waiting for to hear about? And what's your overall feel on this roster? Are you stoked on it? Are you going to play the Ogres first? Let me know in that comment section below. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care. Well, that's that, guys. So let's now go back to the stream portion of this. We've gone through the roster, but let's now have some fun with the battle. Press this button too. So what do I got to do? I gotta open up, I gotta press this, I gotta press this. All right, so here is the actual cinematic battle we're gonna go through together. Before I do this, let me just, I'm not recording this part, we're gonna have as much fun as we want. It's your boy! So it looks like CATHAY is attacking the Sky Monolith. Yes, I did see that Meow can cast while in dragon form, which is cool. Fully erect Professor Pone here. So again, this is going to be CATHAY versus the Ogre Kingdom at a minor settlement. So this is a minor settlement, not a major, which is cool. I had one with Wei Jin, but I decided this would be maybe more fun. It's a lot of choke points and a lot of cool action. So anything that you guys want to ask me or anything like that before we get started on this? Like I said, Creative Assembly is made these for us. Let me go ahead and add a little text here, though. Got to do this. And as always, guys, it's important to know that this is all in development right now. So if you have any problems with visuals, you have any problems with something that looks like flat and not present, anything like that, it's just important to remember that this is currently in development. So they've given us this ahead of time as a kind of like cool little thank you for basically wading through the long process of releasing the game. So just want to remember that it is current, which guys to remind you that it is currently in development. What do I think of the roster so far? So far I like it. I'm kind of bummed that the Yetis aren't there and the Stone or Thunder Tusks aren't there, because ogres are kind of a monster race. So it's like having orcs and goblins with just orcs and goblins and no big bad monsters. So we did get some big bad monsters, right? The Stonehorn's in, and I maybe they're saying, oh, there's Rhinox and there's Mournfang, so that's kind of cool, right? Well, I think that the unfortunate thing is that because we're missing those things, it kind of like takes a little steam out of it. But I'm still stoked on the roster. The actual roster itself with the Ogre Bulls and the Man-Eaters, that's fucking sick. 54 speed with like a juicy amount of charge. They're going to be so fun to play. And as much as I love my High Elves, they're going to eat up High Elves, because the big way High Elves fought against them was using the benefits of Tabletop's Lore of Shadows, which you can't really do in this game in the same way. Max, what'd you say here? Thanks for the great in-depth CK3 tutorials. It took me from ready to toss the game aside to being over halfway through the achievements and super excited for DLC. Well, absolutely, Max. Glad to help you out, dude, and I can't wait for that fucking DLC. Big Daddy Sean throwing in the largest donation of the day, of the week, of everything here. I got a bonus at work last week and thought I'd kick up Mafia style. Always enjoy your work. Keep it up. Thank you very much, man. And congratulations here on the promotion. Everybody in chat, throw an F for Big Daddy Sean, who just got himself a promotion. Let's give it up for Big Sean and his promotion. Yeah, confirmed to be no Thunder Tusks. Yetis, Thunder Tusk, and Ogre Bruisers. These 3 units are not available. And the Pac-Man. Guys, Jamie's here. I can't wait for our date tonight. Are we... Did you text me something? Are we doing something tonight that I didn't know about? Did Jamie text me? You didn't. Jamie, stop it! Oh. The Pac-Man is one of my best friends. We've been gym bros forever. But thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate it, man. Guys, go check out Pac-Man if you are really interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards. He pops them up. He pops those packs all day long. And he is one of my very good best friends. Thank you for the Stellaris basic guide on trash, but trial and error. Also, you reckon you can make an updated version? That's a pretty updated version, but you're welcome, man. I don't know if I'll do another one anytime soon because that was back in April, May, but I would have to take a look at it. And I did miss a donation from Rewinger. Those ogres make me hungry. Thank you very much, man. 100 Norwegian kronu, dude. Thank you very much. Very generous of you. And then Jinja Steve. What's up, man? Okay, so CA have got me so excited now. I've just upgraded my whole PC. Thing is, where are my Chaos Dwarfs? Need the silliest of silly hat boys. Dude, I am actually the most excited for... what's it called? I'm the most excited for Chaos Dwarfs. I really want to see them. I really want to see them. Let's kind of jump through this fight. Well, how long is this fight? It's 12 minutes. We'll just kind of let this roll. If we find a piece that we want to pause and take a look at, we will. Just keep in mind, though, bros, this is not... this is just an employee at Creative Assembly just making a video for us that we've got something to show off. No one that... No, like, I'm not filming it. No other content creators filming it. So if there are jankety camera angles or stuff like that, like... just let it be what it is. You know, it is still in development. So you're going to see a lot of stuff here today. We'll stop and pause as best we can. Loving to see gameplay finally. Wish we could see Kislev versus Ogres. I agree, Andrew. But thank you very much for the donation, my man. Town Manager? I already have one up on Town Manager, Armando. Look at those scrap launchers. Nope, that's not scrap launchers. Look at those Cathayan artillery pieces. Those are the scrap launchers is what I meant. Yeah, man, I've been wearing Norse Fitness forever. Scrap launcher already launching shit off. You're going to see some stuff that is clearly not finished. You'll see like a couple little animations here and there, but just kind of let them go. I don't know how many sync animations are in. Look at that Terracotta Sentinel. Look at that Terracotta Sentinel. Dreltsy cosplay. Just I can Slav squat, man. I mean, I've competed in Olympic lifting for 8 years. I know what the fuck's up. Sound okay? Everyone can hear everything good. You can see that we get the crossbowmen here of the Cathayans, and you get. So take a look at this. See that? That's that their defensive capability, I believe. Basically, they gave us, I think honestly, it's something like 15 videos, and we could only choose 3. So what I chose was Ogres versus Cathay. I'll probably do a Tzeentch versus maybe Ogres or Cathay, and then I'll probably do Khorne versus someone, and then we'll go through both in the same kind of style here. Look at that, dude. Look at that. Oh, here they come. Here they come. Oh, man, look at this Mornfang Cav just going right into these oxen. Looks like we're winning, boys. Alif Zabidi says, as things stand, which faction do you think you'd like to play first at launch? After the recent reveals, I can't wait to tear things up as Greases. Thank you very much, man. $5 donation from Big Daddy Alif. Great Book of Grudges posted 7 videos today. Well, okay, so what he did, Howie, is we can show 3 videos, and those 3 videos can be of the battles. But we also have all the rosters of Tzeentch, Khorne, Ogres, and Cathay. So all 4, and just in the same format I just showed you. So what we can do is we can only show off 3 battles. The rosters are outside of that. So what he probably did was show each one of the rosters. He probably showed Laura Zinch, Laura of the Great Maw, maybe Yin and Yang. I haven't looked at the other roster videos and stuff like that. So oh, what faction was I most excited for, by the way? Probably Kiss of a Grand Cathay. Man, he better not do that too often, though. I'll message Nate, because if you post a whole ton of stuff, then YouTube goes, no, I don't want this, and they'll shut down your notifications out to your subscribers for a little bit. I don't want Nate to get penalized. Nate's growing hard, and I love it. So I'll message him. If he times it out, like times them every handful of hours, it's not as bad. But if you release 7 at once, YouTube will just choose one notification to push, and if you do it a bunch, they just say, okay, well, no more notifications out. It's super finicky doing what we do. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Watch. Meow. It was like an hour per. Oh, okay. Good. I thought that he posted all 7 at once. I was like, no. Watch this. Listen to the scream. That was so sick. I'm gonna do it again. We'll go back to 10 seconds here. So we see that the heal going off here. Oh, that is so sick. She does like, I don't know if that's like her animation or if that's a specific breath attack or something, because I haven't looked at the roster. To be totally honest, I have been doing this with you guys for this because I'm like, it's more fun to do it this way because I'm not jumping into a video knowing everything. I'm just watching it along with you guys going, oh shit, that's cool. I did look at a couple of bits of this to see that it was like serviceable to watch out with you guys, but oh man, that was sick. So I haven't seen if that's an actual ability for her unit card or anything, but I think everyone thinks that animation. I agree with that too. I just didn't know if she had something special. So you can see the crane gunners already kind of going off here. I love the rate at which these fire too. There's a lot here in one unit. Those Gorgers just beat those crane gunners, man. Yeah, there it is again. Her little like cool storm water attack. Then we get a really cool kaiju battle here. Look at the animations for the sky sentinel, for the terracotta sentinel, man. Looks like just the oh no, that's the cannon version. It's gonna kind of shoot off here a little bit. Slaanesh or Nurgle coming next? I don't know. I hope Nurgle. I like Nurgle over Slaanesh. I haven't seen the reload animation. I guess I wasn't paying attention to it. Look at this, man. It's just, what I love about this is it's like, sometimes I can't find my damn cursor. You get a sense for scale by looking at this. Like, take a look at how big that fucking ogre is next to that Cathayan. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about Total War Warhammer that I think it kind of missed with the orcs and the goblins and the humans portions, because black orcs are so huge in so much of the artwork that when you look at this, it nails it, right? Ogres are so massive by comparison to humans, dwarfs, and stuff like that. So it'll be crazy to see a dwarf standing like a little guy right there. Like, look how big that motherfucker is. I love it. You see that terracotta sentinel doing its spin attack of doom. There's Guandao. So I don't know if there's any sync animations like I was saying, because the the Stonehorn and this Terracotta Sentinel don't do much when they fight each other. They kind of butt against each other more than anything. Oh, a glorious charge in from these Crushers, just smashing through some Cathayans. Are minor settlements going to change appearance based on race? Yes. Because if so, Warhammer 3 seems like so much work being done. The game is... Yeah, they said that major and minor would completely change based off of the race holding it. Look at that, man. I just really love the look of the Cathayan units, too. Man, I just... Give me those Chaos Warps, dude. Hey, did we get to see their reload animation? Uh-oh. Oh, uh-oh. 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 Oh! I did want to see more of that charge, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it was a little let down. There is a slave giant? What's a slave giant? Oh, okay. Noblar's kind of doing some chucking, some throwing. Cathay holding the line as they do against these Noblars. Hammond, I don't know, man. Get out of here with that. You guys saw that Sarlacc pit? I do not know what that fleshy pit was. Yeah, I was definitely hoping for Yetis too. So what I've noticed too, the Yetis aren't in, and the like other monstrous Kislev units aren't in that are kind of snow themed as well. Like they've got like an abominable snowman, and they've got their Baba Yaga. So I wonder if we're going to get an Ogre versus Kislev DLC that brings snow-themed unit. And I'm not saying like the snow is the big theme here, but it's like abominable snowman, Yetis, stuff like that. That's like, it's not really abominable snowman, okay? But you get my point here. I could see something like that happening in a Kislev versus Ogre Kingdoms DLC that brings these units into the game. It's a maw pit. Thank you, Glam. Honestly, ooh, watch this. Watch. Look at these Noblars. Oh, that's pretty brutal. What is this? I always get these spam emails like, grow your gaming SEO. Dude. The Gorger attack animations is pretty brutal too. Stonehorn dropping it low. Snowpack. Kaiju battle going down. Look at that thing, man. Scrag right behind it. You also get some shots coming out from those Iron Belchers back there. Let's get up close and personal with these Iron Belchers. Like, look how brazen they are. Like, I don't care. I'll shoot this. I'll shoot this in close combat. What do I give a shit? Dude. Now, Iron Blaster, remember, it's not like a cannonball they're putting in there. They're putting anything. Cannonballs, forks, knives, whatever they want. Lead Belchers, sorry, not Iron Blasters. Ah, God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. Gideon said, "Hi there. I've seen some people saying the Cathayan stats right now are looking OP on the comments of the GBOG video showing the Cathayan units. I know the stats are far from set, but thoughts anyway." Gideon, I actually have not looked at the Cathayan roster at all to give you any ability or any feedback on that, man. To be totally honest with you. So, yeah, Iron Blasters are the artillery. Lead Belchers are the infantry. Correct. Look at it going, man. Look at it going right now. Crusher's crushing. Yes, the Lead Belchers shot their cannons in close combat. Oh, look at that scrap launcher shooting scrap. I would imagine though, Gideon, it'll be like what someone just said in chat, like without their buffs, they're going to be pretty subpar. Just like, you know, High Elf Spearmen are pretty good when they get martial prowess, but when they lose it, they're pretty not good. Look at that scrap launcher, dude. I love this scrap launcher. Oh, launch. Don't you do- Oh, yeah. Miao Ying hovering above. We saw War Compass just go by over there. Miao Ying getting into the Kaiju battle, too. Oof. Scrag's up in this piece too. Everyone's invested in this fight. Cause you man it, mate. I ain't no scrap launcher. Dude, I didn't know that the edges of the Terracotta Sentinel's weapons glow like that. That's pretty cool. And again, remember, this is a minor settlement fight. This is minor settlement. 360 degree defense here. No walls, a lot of choke points. And you can clearly see how the ogres can fill a choke point very easily with one unit. So I'm really stoked to see how this goes. One of the abilities here too for the Jade, not Jade Empire, that is the name of the game. Celestial Dragon. Celestial Guard, Celestial Guard. Good lord, man. Dude, I love the look. Like, dude, they're so huge. These guys are so massive. Celestial Dragon Guard. Thank you very much, Zero Scale. God, my brain right now. Gideon said the single settlement's looking really good. I've seen a few people being like, this looks like Warhammer 2 with a reskin. Well, I'm fine with being cynical. Honestly, some people just overdo it. Dude, everyone... So here's something to kind of like... As someone who has done the content creation for Total War games now for what, 4 years, 5 years? I don't remember what it is anymore. People... That's just a vocal minority being overly pessimistic, pedantic, and generally negative. The majority of people... all look at this and go, this looks great, this looks fun, this looks awesome. So it looks great to me. I think it looks like it's gonna be a badass fucking time. Like, I'm so into it. I'm so into it. So a lot of people too go like, you know, it's Warhammer 2 reskin. Fine with me. Did you see any of these units in Warhammer 2? Don't think so, man. It's like I've said before, what you spend your money on is your prerogative of what you want in your games. I'm stoked on this. However it is, this is my opinion, my preference, so I'm jacked on it. Dude, look at Miao Ying too, man. Just gobbling and eating. God, she's just going to town on these saber tusks. This is fantasy, bro. What do you mean it doesn't look realistic? Of course it won't look realistic. I'm sorry, but Miao Ying's animation, not even a little bit realistic. I've yet to see a single wing. I mean, how is she floating? You know what? It's magnets. Magnets. God, it's so sick. There's the Thunder Tusks next to the Gorgers, next to Scrab for some scale. Oh, that was a cool little explosion there from the Kongming Lantern. The Ogres are faring really well, Oliver. They are doing the damage. Really low density. Build up with helium. I believe this brings our battle pretty much to an end here, guys. So Are there any portions of this you guys want me to jump back to? We can talk about. We've been streaming here for about an hour. Unfortunately, I mean, I can show you guys 2 more battles, but the way I'm trying to do this here today is just show this stuff off, and then I'll do another stream and we'll look at, so you guys can actually let me know what you want. So I have the options of covering Khorne versus Tzeentch, Ogres versus CATHAY, CATHAY versus Ogres, and Khorne versus CATHAY, Tzeentch versus Ogres, Tzeentch versus Ogres, Tzeentch versus Ogres, Ogres versus CATHAY, Ogre versus CATHAY, Ogres versus Khorne, Ogre versus Khorne, Tzeentch versus CATHAY, CATHAY versus Tzeentch. So you get the gist here. And what I'm going to do is probably do I'll do another Khorne versus, I'll do a Khorne versus Tzeentch for sure. Hammond. Is this what you want? Will this make you happy? Wednesday I'll probably do another stream and we'll do Khorne versus Tzeentch and we'll go over both rosters, the beginning and the end. But I want to save CATHAY, the CATHAY roster and that battle for a video of its own too. So we'll probably I can only do 3 videos up to, what's my other embargo date? I'm like looking at the stream to make sure you guys can't see this other screen that it doesn't have anything important on it. It's just I don't want to get in trouble for anything. I think my other embargo date's only like the 10th or some shit. One sec here. 50? No, that's not right.
Thank you for the donation.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, we got plenty of time. I'll be able to show. I thought it said you can show 50 battles. I was like, I'm not going to show 50 battles. So we'll show off this one, obviously. We'll show off Khorne versus Tzeentch, and I'll probably do CATHAY versus another one in the days leading up. I don't really know what that schedule looks like. But we'll be able to hopefully we'll get an official roster reveal of Ogres too. And whenever we get that, we can find out what is 100% missing from this, because I actually don't know, right? Like, we don't have any idea. But let's go ahead and, there was something I wanted to show. Oh, that, yeah, there it is. Hey, shit! Look at that. 90 pounds coming in from Ginger Steve. Biggest donation I've had in a long time. And it's Big Daddy Steve with Warhammer 2 Reskin seems like an amazing game. More armies, more units, larger map, greater demons, and most of all, Chaos Dwarfs. What exactly here is not to like? What do these people want to game the links to its previous? What do these people want to a game that links to its 2 previous iterations of the game, an FPS? I think a lot of people, when they jump from game to game, they expect some sort of substantial leap in the technology of the engine or something like that. And I think some people kind of, they tell themselves a story for the way that game 3 should be, or what the next iteration of any game should be. And they believe so heavily what that story is in their brain that they believe features that are not there. And this isn't like oh yeah, I'm playing down to people that are excited about the game. Here's an example. I used to work at GameStop for 3 or 4 years as a store manager and then an area manager. And there'd be times when we'd be talking about games, and I might not know a game because maybe someone else in the store is bigger into fighting games, and they're the person I listen to when it comes to talking about fighting games. And they say a feature that fighting game is going to have, and then someone asks me, hey, so what's this game like? And I tell that feature to that person. It becomes a weird echo chamber of features that sometimes just don't exist. And a lot of that happens, I've noticed now, with watching hype build up for games, people believe a feature set or a bit of news or they have an expectation for something that's coming with a DLC, the next game, an iteration, whatever it is, and it just kind of gets jumbled up in this echo chamber and it becomes like canon. And then when something comes out and it's lacking that, they find out that, well, what the hell, that's not there, and they're disappointed. It's a really kind of weird thing that happens when you are around a community that is talking about the same thing, right? Warhammer 3, everyone's talking about it. And I think that some people kind of in their... Did you do the topless advertising outside stores? Nope. I think a lot of people kind of get in their head about what they want for a game, and they think that they think that that's the way it should be. And I don't think that that's 100% correct. I think that, you know, you should absolutely have certain expectations for games, but at the same time, be realistic. Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2 is not that huge of a difference. The campaign map definitely plays differently. Warhammer 2's campaign map plays more akin to like a Heroes of Might and Magic. It feels a little bit more engrossing and having fun with that. But when you jump from 2 to 3, it's probably not going to be, again, that much different. We're probably going to see the majority of difference in the campaign map, and that's what it sounds like. We just saw the campaign map from that one little teaser. We're going into the Realm of Chaos. It definitely seems like it's going to be that level of difference to the game. Definitely the topless advertising. Yeah, I mean, like, isn't Warhammer 2 an expansion on 1, more or less? Like, what makes 1 so much different than 2? Aside from, again, campaign mechanics. You get a lot of really awesome per-race campaign mechanics that were then added retroactively to Game 1 races. You get the right system. You get the Vortex campaign. Like, for all intents and purposes, 1 and 2 are the exact same game because they're supposed to fucking be. So, I don't really necessarily see that 3 should be this complete breaking of the mold here. I think it should still follow in the same footsteps, change and improve upon the things that are lacking from 2. You know, MTF Savage says, Warhammer 1 race and factions were boring. The funny thing is, if we're looking in popularity from Game 1 to Game 3 races, all of Game 3 races are the least popular races of Warhammer 8th Edition. Ogre Kingdoms and Chaos Demons. Kislev and Cathay never really had 8th Edition iterations representations, even though that if you were in the competitive circuit, a lot of people played Chaos Demons, but a pure Chaos Demons army was very rare. Conversely, Vampire Counts, Empire, Dwarfs were 3 of the most played factions, as well as Orcs and Goblins and Chaos Warriors, different than Chaos Demons. Those are all the most played factions of 8th Edition. And then you get the second game when you get High Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and Skaven. Those 4 were still very heavily played, but not as much as the other ones. Oh, and Bretonnia too. Forgot about Bretonnia, but Bretonnia was not a very heavily played faction in 8th Edition. Yeah, Empire still, it's represented in the spread of campaigns. People still play Empire the most. The only thing that should be different from Warhammer 2 is the sieges, in my opinion. The rest, I'm fine with, just a bit of improvement. I totally agree. And it definitely looks like we're getting that direction. Look at that, man. I love that charge. I love that charge. So again, guys, if you want to see anything in specific, let me know. We'll jump back to it. I'm going to be we'll probably end the stream in a little bit here. We're just kind of having some fun. You know what we can do, actually? What am I getting my statistics from? I don't have a website up that shows that for you, if you'd like, James. I have a video where I talked about all the popular campaigns, and there was a statistics blowout in 8th edition of what armies are played the most. You can absolutely Google that, though. You can see what 8th edition fantasy armies were the most popular. And you'll get a pretty good breakout when it comes to tournament play. and sales. Battles at sea. Why is there nothing about that at all? You know, a lot of people also talk about that when it comes to like naval battles in Warhammer. Like, I just don't care. I would not. Naval battles were not a big thing in Warhammer Fantasy. The only people who really had tons of them were the High Elves and the Dark Elves. There's some stuff cool with dwarfs here and there. The Empire have some things here and there, but for the most part, it's not. Naval battles were never a big deal. That's why I have zero concern to play naval battles in Total War Warhammer. You know what's really cool is naval battles in Total War Empire or Empire Total War. You know how fast I stopped playing naval battles in Empire Total War? As soon as it got over 3 or 4 ships, I was like, "Fuck this! This is just too tedious now." And I gotta cut the wind. Gotta keep doing this and serpentine up to them and keep trading broadsides. That's cool and all, but honestly, I have got zero interest to play a naval battle in Total War Warhammer. If I want to do that, I'll play a game like there's the Corsair game or whatever the hell. I actually never played them in Shogun 2. Ginger Steve, renewing that membership, 18 months strong. Here you go, and just stare and blink if under NDA. Do you think we will see a 40k or Heresy Total War? What do you think? What would you put into it, mate? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about like a 40k or a Heresy Total War. So as far as Total War 40,000, there is no existing engine that Total War has. So Total War's got an engine, like the Rome engine. Then they have got what's called a warscape, and a warscape is a different variation of that engine. An example of a warscape would be Warhammer 1 into Warhammer 2 into Troy. Those are 3 different warscapes that all are playing the Rome 2 engine. There's no existing engine that could do justice to a Total War 40k. So we would need a brand new engine to play Warhammer 40,000 Total War. So I don't think that's anywhere on the horizon until they announce, hey, here's a brand new game coming out from Total War that uses a brand new engine. That's when I would start going, oh, okay, maybe we might see something. Because I think that that's going to be the big point. And it might be the fact that if you think about it, the 40k IP obviously is owned by Games Workshop. And I think that after the flop of Dawn of War 3, which didn't need to be a flop, right? That could have had the same thing that so many games are having right now. It comes out, not too great. In 6 months, it's amazing. So I think that what they're going to do is probably, I think they saw, okay, Dawn of War 3 is not doing well. Pull the plug on this. We'll hand it over to Total War because they're crushing it with our IPs already, and we'll build an engine from scratch or something like that. I bet you that's what's going to happen. It's probably going to take like 3 or 4 years. I don't even know. So someone just said, I think AOS Total War is more ideal than 40k Total War. I think that's more of an option. I think AOS Total War is more believable than a 40k Total War right now. Yeah, I was having so much fun with Dawn of War 3. I mean, yeah, there were some things that were like not as good, or there were some things that were cheesy, but I definitely don't think it was a terrible game. I was having a lot of fun. Because remember, I mean, like, all Total War games, for the most part, you're taking over provinces and settlements. 40k, you'd be taking over systems and planets. Indie Pride and I did a video on it. And he actually just did another expansion upon it. I don't know, man. Age of Sigmar is doing extremely well, Divine Lightning. If you take a look at the Games Workshop, what's it called, fiscal year report on Age of Sigmar, it's outselling, and it's been outselling consecutive years of Warhammer Fantasy. And it's why Age of Sigmar still has so much speed. And I think a lot of people that poo-poo Age of Sigmar need to get over it. Like, Age of Sigmar 1.0 was god awful. It was so bad. Like, what's his name? Like, woke up after being in a dream. Manfred, he was like, I'm in a dream, but I'm in the real world. But it's a dream. It was so bad. But Age of Sigmar 2.0 and 3.0 now even has got amazing writing. Aaron Dembski-Bowden has jumped on. He wrote the Slaves of Darkness army book. It's got a lot of really badass shit in it. If you honestly like, if you like Warhammer Fantasy, you're going to like Age of Sigmar now. The whole like old guard of curmudgeons that go, Age of Shitmar, I'm like, stop it. Get off of it, man. Like, 8th edition ended almost a whole decade ago now, which sucks. I agree, 8th edition was my childhood, but Age of Sigmar has gotten so much better. The playability of it is really strong. And, dude, the updated models for all this stuff, like, I don't like Sigmarines. I can agree to that. But everything else that they've released has been really damn good. And the fact that I could play like 2 or 3 Age of Sigmar games in the time it takes to play one 40k game, let alone one fantasy game, oh, fantasy took a long time to set up, man. No, it's Stefan, absolutely, man. I wasn't talking about you. Yeah, that's the big thing, is that Warhammer Fantasy took forever to set up. You needed so many models, you had to have so many books with you. Age of Sigmar is a lot more of a concise, quick-to-play game. You maybe, at max, have like 50, 60 units, even if you're playing a Horde army. I like it a lot. Nothing yet, James, unfortunately, my dude. We just know some bit about the modes that they released in that one blog, but nothing like concrete. Scrag and his goofy hair. Do I have a close-up of Scrag? I would love to see... You know, I'd like Middle-earth Total War over Song of Ice and Fire. Because Song of Ice and Fire Total War, I think people would be disappointed because it's not like... I feel like it's not as unit diverse. And people already kind of got triggered with the lack of unit diversity in Three Kingdoms. The only thing that had real unit diversity was the top tier units. There's a close-up of him a little bit later. Where is it? Look at that Fallen Sentinel. I think Lord of the Rings should just be more... I mean, Andreas, I'm sure that they could make it work, though, because Games Workshop has that IP, has a tap into that IP, so I'm sure they could make it work. Would be really interesting is if Games Workshop bought Creative Assembly from Sega and just said, listen, it's our company now. I don't know, Mighty. I don't know. I think that recently stopped. Here it is. Oh man, Scrag, look at that hair you got. Looking just promising. The Marion Total War, that'd be cool. It'd be a good time for it. Although the first stage Total War might be a little bit more interesting because you get so much variety. Oh, look at that! What a baddie! Oh, absolutely, it would be bad. It would be bad. I'm not saying it'd be a good thing, guys. Hear me out. Dune Total War. If you like something, you should hope Games Workshop doesn't buy it, though. Yeah, but you have a lot of variety of elves. And you've got some fun stuff with dwarfs. You get Numenorians. Shouldn't the rocks look like Himalayan mountains? Sure. I don't really know where the sky bastion is in the map anymore. I can't remember. Does he apply to old factions in the case the architecture of all cities will change? You know, pull it, I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll apply later. What is my opinion on Norse Wars making it to Game 3? It'd probably, if anything, be a super late addition. I don't think Troy was half-assed, Niobe. I think Troy was full-assed. I just think that Troy should have released as Mythos. I don't think it should have released as a truth behind the myth. Kyle probably. He asked, do you guys think with how many mountains are on the map, they'll rework how you move through them? I could probably see it. Hot take. Troy, to me, was the most fun Total War release in the last, like, 2 years almost. What do you guys think the likelihood of an MP? I don't think we'll get a multiplayer beta, unfortunately, JK. Yeah, the whole truth behind the myth thing I can just never get behind. It's just never fun. So what we'll probably do then on Wednesday or Thursday, we'll do a Tzeentch versus Khorne battle. We'll go through the Tzeentch roster because we've already seen the Khorne roster. And then what we'll do from there is go into probably Tzeentch versus Ogres over the weekend. Turn hasn't uploaded much Warhammer stuff because he's working on Age of Empires. And I'll be honest, I did this because I want to go back to work on more Age of Empires. It's a pretty crucial time to get really hot in that space right now. So him and I have to just kind of hit that niche as hard as we can. But I mean, we'll obviously both be doing tons of Warhammer 3 content, guys. Don't you dare worry about that. Jonathan Kelly, just for some dome wax, $20. Thank you very much, man. I mean, you guys got to factor in. Turn and I, Turn even more so than I, have been playing this game for 4 or 5 years nonstop every day as our jobs. Not just like, hey, I like to play the game, let's have some fun. And I have over 1,500 hours, 1,000 hours, 2,000, whatever the fuck it is, combined for Warhammer 1 and 2. And I think of those hours, 20 total hours are my own personal enjoyment. So it's hard for us to want to get like super amped up to keep releasing Warhammer 2 content when Warhammer 3 is around the corner. Warhammer 3 news is super exciting and we're all just like, oh man, I'm pretty burnt out on this right now. So it's like we're all kind of in a really interesting point where 3's Genesis is just coming up. And we're all just trying to like limp into 3 so we can just get that like reinvigorating, oh, brand new game, feels good, emotion kind of going. But don't worry, we will be covering Warhammer 3. Just kind of like look at it from our point of view of like, we have bled every single bit of fun from this game that we can. And now it's just like, God, this is my job and I have to do this or it's not going to be good for me. Bronze Age Total War Mythos would be cool with the major empires, all the gods. Dude, I would love that. With the with Egyptian and then Sumerian. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, you saw Legend of Total War, man. He was like, I gotta take a break. All I do is stream and play and make videos of this, and I'm just having panic attacks. And it really does cause that. And you get like hypercritical of little tiny things. Like it's rough. I get my flight attendant job. I'll try to make it through your area to give you some of my hype. I'm pumped. Oh, dude, hype all over me, bro. I'm doing anything special for launch day at Total Warhammer 3. Yeah, Durgo, I'll find a costume to wear of some sort, and we will definitely do a launch day stream of Warhammer 3. Yeah, but Conlao, it's like there's not much to be done with Warhammer multiplayer right now, and Lauren, that's my ex. That's weird. Turin is very good at his job, like very, very good at critical multiplayer analysis. And just being like completely honest here, there is a very hard ceiling on multiplayer playability of Warhammer 2. And that's kind of rough. So Turin obviously is going to be covering both games, and he will go balls deep in Warhammer 3. He goes hard in the paint on everything. But with him covering Age of Empires, he can, like, he has the capability to get extremely high profile, really big contracting gigs. And that is sick for him. Like, it is such a good move for him, his family, his career, everything. Like, if he keeps doing what he's doing in Age of Empires 4, he could possibly get a chance to do something in the Wololo, which has got $100,000 prize pool, and it's sponsored by Red Bull. And then if that happens, he gets on that. Maybe someone picks him up and he gets an actual contracted gig for Blizzard games because he loves Warcraft. Like, it is a huge, huge opportunity for him, and I'm really stoked up on it. And that's my love letter to Turin there. But I think we're kind of hitting a point here. We're going to shut the stream down. We're just kind of having fun, shooting the shit the last half hour. So if you guys do have any questions, please let me know. Will they add Nephrod and Nagash in Warhammer 3? I hope so. They fucking better. Guys, this has been a badass stream. I'm excited to do stuff like this, I think, a little bit more so than making the videos. We got 600 of you bros checking in here today. Make sure you are liking the stream, subscribing, because we will be doing a ton of these for the other video variations of the video. So we'll be doing one for Tzeentch versus Khorne probably Wednesday or Thursday, and then we'll do another one for Ogres versus Tzeentch probably. And we'll just look at the rosters for everything. The Ogres versus, what's it called? Khorne will probably not be as diverse. If there's anything too from the roster itself. So let's take a look really quick here at the roster before we shut off. So Slaughtermasters and Butchers, we haven't seen any of them just yet. So I imagine they'll probably be coming in a later date. No Bruisers, nothing of them just yet. But we've been confirmed no Bruisers. No Tyrants just yet, but that's obviously going to be your generic Legendary Lord, I would assume. I bet you will probably see Tyrants and Slaughtermasters as our Lords. Firebellies will be in there, but no Hunters just yet. The Saber Tusk Pack, we saw these guys. Ogres, we've seen Ogres now. This Ogre Bull would be your generic Ogre. Your Iron Guts, which we did not see, but did we get confirmation from anyone that these don't exist yet? I haven't heard anything about it. No Blood Patch in the battles yet, right, for ESRB. Lead Belchers we saw. Man Eaters we saw. Again, we have a bunch of different variations of them. So I would love to see if we do get maybe a handgun version of them for Sniper. Some version of them that has poisoned attacks, something like that. Iron Guts are in. Okay, cool. Thank you, Glam. Mournfang Cav, we've seen these guys. This is probably one of my favorite Ogre pictures. I fucking love this picture. Oh, my leg. Gorgers, again, a pretty sweet representation of them in both the game and everything. The Yetis, unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're going to be actually in the launch roster. Probably going to be something that's released alongside Hunters, I would imagine. Giants, we saw that in the roster here just now. Noblars, we get both of their their Trapper variant and normal variant, the Scrap Launcher, the Iron Blaster. We have gotten confirmation is going to be coming, but it is not in this video, unfortunately. The Stone Horn, look at that bad boy. And then Thunder Tusks, which Thunder Tusks are probably one of my favorite unit in the entire roster of Ogres. They are so cool looking. They are so, Hunters are in. Hunters are, that's been confirmed. I thought Hunters were not. Grease's Goldtooth, our legendary load that's coming with the launch of the game. The Big Man-Eater, which I'm totally afraid to say that name out loud. Bragg the Gutsman. 200 Norwegian Kronu here from Rowinger. Great stream, just keep distance to the fire belly breath. It's bad for you. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. You've been very, very generous today, dude. And thank you to the rest of you that have given donations. I'm going to go through everyone and thank you guys individually, but just want to say thank you very much. You guys are always so generous, and like, this is my full-time job, and I can do it because of the grace of a lot of you guys like throwing these donations my way. So thank you very, very much, guys. Scrag the Slaughterer, we've seen him in the game. You can see how this kind of applies to Gorgers, but gaining regeneration, attack, hatred, unbreakable. So it kind of fits here, right? We're getting a bonus to its melee attack and weapon strength as well as regen. So you get that bonus as he continues to do damage. Then the lore of the Great Maw. All the names here are pretty much directly ripped from it and put into the game. So you can see all that goodness here. It's all present. The only things missing are Thunder Tusk and the Thunder Tusk, Bruisers, and Yetis. God damn, Yetis. Ooh, messing my brain up. So we'll be back here with another stream touching on both, we'll touch both Tzeentch and Khorne, touch them real good. Let me go through some of the donations here and give some thank yous out because like I said, we did get plenty of those. So let's go to Streamlabs. Let's give those donation thank yous. And like I said, guys, if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you can see the notifications for those future streams coming up here. Holy shit. And if you have not yet pre-ordered Total War Warhammer 3, you can using the Nexus store as always. You get a stream key directly from Creative Assembly, and it does help support the channel. Rowinger, though, with the first donation of the day, but one that is certainly not the lowest one, just giving tons of it. Let me see, you got 100 here, 200 in total, but you did a third one. But 300 Norwegian Kronu from Rowinger. Thank you very much, man. Always love it. Always good to see you. Max Kolb dropping a $10 donation. Sean with a huge $50 donation. Big Daddy Jamie the Pac-Man with a $10 buckaroo. And Andrew Atkinson with a 10-pounder. Alif with a $5 donation. Gideon with a 10-pound donation as well. Ginger Steve with the largest donation of the day, I think. This 300. Yes. With 89.99 pounds swinging in heavy here. Thank you very much, Ginger Steve. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in so long. So damn long. And also renewing his membership. But we also do have Jonathan Kelly with a $20 donation to close out our donos here for the day. Much stronger than what game comes out. They are my favorite race, but they are so disappointing now. Are they? I think they're pretty cool. Oh. Did I not roll credits? The credits should start rolling now. There we go. We'll switch over this so you can see them better. But all right, guys, we're going to be shutting our stream down here for the day. We will be back on Wednesday or Thursday. I gotta think about the Age of Empires 4 videos. Someone messaged me and said that Enter the World of Ogres was confirmed or something like that tomorrow. So we'll probably be seeing that. But a huge shout out to all the members who joined in. We had Rowinger here. Flesson just popped in. What's up, Fless? We had Ginger Steve. You've been painting models? Send me dick pics. I mean, what? Richie, what's up, dude? How are you? Ogre missile units are not that strong. Yeah, I mean, true. But they do devastating amounts of damage. Kane, have a good one as well, dude. Man-Eater DLC featuring Golg featuring loads of regional variants. Arabies. I would love that actually, Leaf. That'd be really cool. A bunch of variants. Or it'd be cool if the variants all looked different, right? Because that's how they were in the tabletop. So it'd be cool if, well, I mean, it's not like a confirm. You just had a bunch of different models and they all look kind of different. So it'd be kind of cool too if you had like, okay, a handgun version who's got sniper stock looks maybe, I don't know, like more like a Tillian or an Estalian or an Arabian or a Napoleon. Napoleon sounds hilarious. Just something of that sort where you got each variation had a different look to it. I think that would be really, really cool. I mean, clearly that's not the case because we've seen the ones with pistols and with great weapons and they're just the same, right? They just, ooh, I'm a pirate. Do I like heavy metal music? Yes. You ever heard of the band Opeth? Opeth's one of my favorite bands of all time. Arch Enemy is also really great. No Kiss of Battle videos, unfortunately, Srini. Apparently Kiss of, they didn't want to show them just yet for whatever reason. They explained why and I don't remember what it was. But all right, guys, we will be back here later this week with some more fun breakdowns of what you've seen here today. And because they suck. Kane's on one. Jonathan, thank you very much, man. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the family. You just renewed it though, right? You've already been one. Local area changes the looks and equipment based on the area they recruited. Is that confirmed, or are you saying that would be a really cool ability? Gorguts, man, I haven't heard Gorguts in forever. You want me to do I would love to do a voiceover for the Kislevites, like, you furliti Katarin. You click on one, it's a Strasvutia. Like, I would love that. Privyet. Although I don't think they speak Russian. No problem, man. Totally understand. Oh, hope so. Okay. Oh, absolutely, Alif. Thanks for jumping in, man. Oh. My leg is like tight right now. But, all right, guys. We're going to shut the stream down here. We'll be back later this week with some more fun with Zinch and Korn. But everyone, please have a good one. Wash your hands. Stay safe. Take care. And we will see you in a couple days, my bros. But have a good one, like I said, and take care.